again this weekend at the home tournament, and so that will be a lot of fun. But first, we got to get past Dodge tomorrow.
And girls, you can answer this one. So just a lay spectator, I thought great volleyball all around. Good hitting, good blocking, good passing, good digging. What do you guys? Good serving. What do you guys see? Do you see this in real time? And how does practice translate to doing that in an actual game?
I think energy is a huge part of it. Like, one of our big goals at practice is to have good energy. We have to translate that to our games to play good. Like, during against Junction, I feel like our energy in the gym was just kind of not the usual level it was, but against Hutch and Goddard, it was definitely up, and that really helped us.
And Josephine, the points we see, it's always, it's a big hit or a big block, and then the celebration immediately following that. You can come up with a stupendous dig, and it might be a few seconds before something happens. What's the mindset of that dig is just as important as a big hit?
Yes, I'm always just like, I got to get our front row to hit. Like, this has to be a good point. Like, my mindset is always just like, get the ball where it needs to go. Like, if Kaya needs the ball, then this is where it needs to go.
And it's always remarkable because the ball moves quick. You don't know where it's going to go until the last second. Either one of you can answer this, but yeah, kind of how do you control that where you're making a good pass off you didn't even know where the ball was going to be half a second ago?
I think sometimes I'm just like, close my eyes and hope it hits my arms.
Oh, man.
I'm like, okay, this is where the ball is. She's going to hit it. Okay, I'm going to try and move this way if her shoulder's this way. We really try and practice that.
You have to, like, loosen up, too.
Yeah.
You just have to relax, because if you're tense, you're not going to get there in time. You just got to, like, dive on the floor.
Yeah.
That would explain. I got pictures of you diving, and your eyes are always closed.
Hey, same thing with our blockers. Their eyes are closed. I'm like, wait a minute. Do we know where we're going? I think, especially with these girls that have been in this program for multiple years, your body almost kind of already knows what to do. It's just a matter of making sure your body's in position, and then they kind of know what to do after that.
Talking to Lady Panther volleyball coach Shelly Duvall, and we've got seniors Josephine Mazouk and Addie Irwin. Any WAC games technically under your belt?
All four. We're 4-0 in the WAC right now, so we'll see Dodge for the second time tomorrow. Dodge always plays their best volleyball against us, so it'll be a fun gym. We're going to alternate it again and do the big court, so hopefully that energy can come from last Thursday as well, and then on Saturday we'll see Liberal again.
Okay, so girls, what did you learn against the Junction City? You've got another best of 5 coming up. Short memory there, or is it just it's completely different night when you come into this one Thursday?
I definitely hope it's different. I mean, just the energy, like, like Dodge plays pretty good against us, so we just have to bring that energy again. And
Is Barton volleyball team showing up?
I don't know. They play tonight, so I'll talk to Coach Megan. I'm libero tracking again, so if they're not playing, most of the time she tries to get the girls in the gym, and that kind of helps fire us up too. But I think the gym last Tuesday was just an awkward, weird feeling all the way around. Not just the players, but like the engagement in the crowd. And I don't know if it was just I don't know what it was. The vibe was just really weird the minute we walked into the gym. So we're hoping that tomorrow we can change all of that. But we have to do that on the court first, regardless of anything else.
Well, Dodge City, they brought there's some returns.
Dodge City decided to have again, like we said last week, one of their players' mom is the college coach, and she brought her entire team, and they got a little rowdy. So I mean, who knows?
There's
but at
space
the
in
same
that
time,
gym.
I want Barton to hold their heads with some class too, because what we heard was not super classy. So I think Barton's a little better than that. So, but we like getting them fired up.
What is the field looking like for Saturday's tournament?
So I sent this to the girls earlier. We will see Salina Central, Hutch, Newton, Liberal, and Wichita West along with us. And record-wise, not looking super great. Hutch will be our biggest competition, and I think they're 9-8 right now. So everybody else is kind of on the other end of the spectrum. But then we'll turn around and we'll see Goddard, Eisenhower, and Goddard Eisenhower and Campus on Tuesday, and Eisenhower's really good. And then that following Saturday, we'll be at the El Dorado tournament. So our peak of our schedule is starting to hit right now, where most teams have already played most of their tournaments. We're starting to hit the bulk of it now. So,
girls, maybe one more for you. I sometimes think we get overlooked out here because of the Wichita area schools and the Northeast schools. What do you know? I finally got the rankings up, and there's Great Bend. Is that something players pay attention to at all in the locker room, or know where you're at in the state?
I think we definitely like to see where we are at.
Yes.
No extra pressure. You guys like to see Great Bend in the top 10.
I definitely like to see Great Bend in the top 10,
Yeah.
representing a little town like Great Bend. So.
yeah, we're Little Town compared to most places. But
Truly.
I think the big thing with the rankings is it's great to see yourselves, but the 1 and 2 rankings, I don't like that. I don't like to feel like we have to be up and have this certain expectation. Ranked number 9 or 10, I'm great with that because nobody's expecting anything. We're holding our own, and then when it comes down to it, we've got to do our job and represent at that state tournament.
What time does action start on Saturday?
On Saturday? Saturday is 9 a.m. is the first game for Great Bend.
And varsity action tomorrow at the high school against Dodge City.
Yes, JV will be at 5, and varsity will play at 6.
Excellent. Congratulations, Addie Irwin, 2024 Fall Homecoming Queen.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Best
guys.
teammate of the camp award,
Best
Josephine
Yes.
At the
Mizzou.
big University of Nebraska. Thanks for coming in, Coach Shelley Duvall, seniors Josephine Mizouk and Addie Irwin. Good luck tomorrow and this weekend.
Thank you.
More sports day after this.
From the Mayo Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB, Great Bend, and 95.5 FM K238CK, Hoisington.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Online courses, you get the Barton guaranteed option that your textbooks and course materials will cost $50 or less per class. Whether you want to earn your associate degree or transfer credits to a 4-year university, Barton offers flexible online courses and personalized support. Achieving your goals is now easier and more affordable. Learn more at textbookfreedom.bartonccc.edu.
When it comes to car maintenance, it's good to know a local guy that can get things done. The Eller family has been in the auto repair business in Great Bend forever. Greg Eller continues that long tradition of helping people. Eller Automotive Repair specializes in wheel alignments, oil changes, and general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4 Fridays. Eller Automotive Repair at 915 Morton, right behind Great Bend Appliance, Furniture, and Sleep Source, 10th and Morton.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Wright, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
C&E Doors, this is Eddie.
I need some work done.
Are you in a haunted house?
No, it's my garage door. I think I might need a new one.
We can take a look. We can do repairs and replacement. We'll see what's right for you.
What a relief. I thought I was going to get stuck in here.
Call the guys in orange at C&E Doors to fix your haunted house.
C&E Doors, Great Bend. Follow the orange signs just south of 10th and Harrison.
He's the voice of the Barton Cougars and the Hoisington Football Cardinals. And back in the day, he could play a mean game of darts. It's Cole Reif time on Sports Day.
And had he not had other duties yesterday, he would have dominated the Bob Schmidt Day Eagle Media Bowling Tournament.
How'd that turn out? Who won?
I hear Shannon did.
Shannon, did you bowl, Landon? You didn't? Okay.
Okay, but
okay.
I thought it was like a score of 74 or 75 or something like that.
I always remember that was like if you could break 100, you felt pretty good about yourself. Bowling's tough. It's just never consistent. Even as much as I don't have any fanciness. Like I just try to bowl it straight down the middle.
I would think that, of all barroom sports, that's
yeah. I just never gave it much of a try.
Okay, all right.
When I first started here, Brian Ewing recruited me to a bowling league team with him and a couple of his friends. So I went out there and I quickly realized that they were really good. They were good compared, everyone was good. Like everyone was.
So your straight ball wasn't.
Yeah,
impressive?
the straight ball was kind of embarrassing. I was kind of embarrassed out there because everyone else was, probably upper 100s. 150 might be a low game for them, but they'd get over 200, and I was like so dialed in just to get over 100 to like not embarrass myself like on the scoreboard, because it's like if someone glances down at like the screens. Who's the guy that's got 77 in the ninth frame? Like that was embarrassing. So like I had to dial it in so much just to like not completely embarrass myself.
So in that case, you do not go in there with a fancy bowling shirt or look like apparel that you're trying to look like a bowler.
Yeah,
right?
I can't remember. I don't think we had shirts. We definitely didn't have the fancy like bowling jersey.
Yeah,
things.
okay.
Yeah, we definitely didn't have that.
All right. Hey, I saw your son score a touchdown last night too. That pulled the Dragons with one touchdown late in the second half.
Tight game, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he nice run.
Was he wearing the shades last night while it was dark out?
No, he wasn't. He wasn't doing that.
Because he thought that was pretty cool, just to wear the shades out there. He felt pretty cool about that. But I was like, hey, it's your game starts at 7:30. You might not need the shades.
That's late night. Man.
Yeah, that is late
night for Grandpa having to take.
Especially when they go like the last one on. See what is today? So the one on Monday would have been like an hour 5, hour 10 minutes. I was like, okay, come on, Rick, let's go. We don't need hour 10 minutes in first grade.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cole Reif with us right now. Okay, Dr. Cole Reif, because I'm going to ask you about the medical report here to start with. Where are we at with Horsey?
Out and out.
Out. Okay.
Yeah, Taylor Morales. He's the most recent one with the knee injury. So for him,
our backup kickers.
Yeah, Gabriel did pretty well. Gabe did well.
He out?
No, he's in.
Okay,
he's good. Unless you got an update from Dolores.
I think I've got some information. Anyway.
Okay. All right. Well, so Taylor, he's out. He'll probably get reevaluated by either the end of this week or early next week on where he's at with his knee injury. I mean, there's good hope with Taylor. Jason Robinson, you're still looking at probably another week before you get completely evaluated as far as what his severity is. Kyler Russell should be back probably in, I'd say 2 weeks. You're sitting there. You've lost some other freshmen, some youngsters along the way, but those three are the main ones that you're tracking right now, and I don't expect either one of those guys to be playing on Friday. And, that hurts. You got a really big matchup, a fun matchup with one of the top teams, not only in Class 3A, but in the entire state. And, you're not fully healthy, but still, you got to win last Friday night, and you're expected to win that game. But so there's no surprise. But at the same time, I think the guys, kind of needed it. But Zach mentioned, like, hey, we lost the first 3 games. Losing's not fun. I get it. But at the same time, everything that you want still in front of you. I mean, you need to get better. Is it fun to have undefeated regular season? Sure. Is it fun to beat, your rivals, win big games against, big opponents like Scott City, Heston, and Pratt? Sure. But at the same time, win your district games, set yourself up nicely in the playoffs, and see what happens when the 2A playoffs roll around. So, yeah, injury-wise, still got some work to do to get everyone back fully healthy.
It's a neat matchup. I mean, Cheney and Hoisington. I wish Hoisington was in better physical condition right now. And maybe, as we were kind of talking yesterday, it's been a fun matchup last year, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think, with Caden Hoffman and Tony Moore in the mix, and all this, even it wasn't a huge senior class. I think if they had those guys, and that's even saying it as good as Cheney was. I mean, so like Hoisington was good. Cheney was, off the charts. You talk about Jackson Voth and what he was able to do. So, yeah, I mean, I think it still would have been a lot, maybe more entertaining, at least as far as grabbing the attention from across the state. I don't think it grabs the attention when, Hoisington's sitting at 1-3. But I think if you're Hoisington, you're at home, you're still, you still have the program history.
Yep.
Like, you're still Hoisington. So, like, I think that alone at least puts a little bit of sizzle on this matchup coming in. Although Cheney is just, I mean, they're really, really good. I mean, I don't think I'm going out on a limb saying they're heavily favored coming into this matchup. But let's see what Hoisington can do.
Okay. So Zach Baird gets his 100th career victory.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Was it cooler for us than it was Zach?
Maybe. I think anytime you get to that threshold, I mean, that's significant. I mean, I don't care even if you had spent, a few extra years and you get to 100 wins. But for him to do it, midway through the regular season, year 11, so you're averaging just under 10 wins per season. And I kind of thought about this. This is in an era where I think after his fourth year, Keisha switched to 8-week regular season schedule. So it's no more 9-week, where sometimes, if you had a really, really good team and you had, teams on your schedule that were fluff, you could chalk up an extra win, in the season. You get 9-0 in the regular season before you hit the playoffs. Then it switched to 8 in like 2000, I don't know. I want to say like 2018. No, I think it's 18. Okay. They had a few years with Zach as head coach and they had 9 games. But so that's saying something too, to get those wins and even, not having a week 9 game as far as a regular season contest. So for him to be able to do that, you're averaging like close to 2 wins in the playoffs every year. I went down the rabbit hole a few years ago and calculated all the wins for every current 2A school since Zach had taken over as head coach in 2014. And Hoisington, I want to say, was number 2 at that time. This is like 3 or 4 years ago. It might have been right before the Rossville State Championship game. And I think Rossville might have been ahead of them. Now Rossville's out at Class 2A, but out of the current 2A schools, like 3 or 4 years ago, I mean, Zach and this coaching staff in Hoisington were I think they were number 2 in the entire state in Class 2A. So, it's been remarkable. I mean, the consistency that they've had over the years, I mean, it's almost unmatched. I mean, there's very, very few teams, even in any classification, that have had just the win total that Hoisington has had. Now, Cardinals, would they like to, polish that with a nice state championship, trophy? Sure. But as far as winning programs, yeah, I mean, Hoisington's, right there with anybody.
When you're a coach at a school that long, I mean, sometimes there's, continued success. Coaches move on like that. But when you think of a football program, automatically you think of it. Well, it's Hoisington football, man. Yeah. They're going to run they're going to play defense. And that's kind of where Hoisington's at. Yeah, I mean, you get the scouting report from any coach that I talk to in the week. Like I'll talk to Cheney's Shelby Werman coming up here later on this afternoon, and but it's the same old. Like, yep, this is kind of a litmus test. This is kind of a good idea of where you're at for some teams. Cheney's obviously established, but at the same time, they know they're going to get not only a good team that has talent, but also just a team that doesn't make a ton of mistakes. A team that's pretty disciplined and is fundamentally sound. You can tell. You just you don't have to watch a whole lot to figure out which teams are well coached and which players are improving throughout their careers. So yeah, I mean, Hoisington's always one of those. You always get the same talk from coaches like, yeah, this team's going to be good. They're going to be physical, and if we're not ready to match it, it's going to be a long night. Other than calling the upset right now, what do you want to see Friday night? I want to see Cheney work for it. Like Josh Burdick is. I mean, he is. I think he's one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the state of all classifications. He threw for over 2,600 yards last year as a junior, and he has some good receiving options. You look at the receivers, like they just do a good job finding the soft spots of a defense. They'll just kind of wait for you to kind of flatten out, and then they'll just die right in front of you and stop and just find that opening. They do a really good job at that. They don't strike a ton downfield. A lot of their patterns are within 5-10 yards, and then they can break it into more. But I just want to see, can you make, Josh Burdick work? That's the biggest thing. I think it's, Cheney's defense is really good, and, that's going to be a different type of challenge. But can you hold them, make them have 10, 12 play drives? Can you do that? Can you make them try to work down the field? That's the biggest thing. And Zach mentioned to me years ago, in any level of football, you just want them to take extra snaps. Even in the NFL and college, but especially in high school, anything can happen. Maybe it's a bad snap. Maybe they just drop it. Maybe it's just a bad read. It's a high school kid. He's 17, 18 years old. Maybe he throws an interception. Maybe they just, for whatever reason, if ball falls out of their hand. But you can't do that if you're giving up big plays on 1 or 2, 3 play drives. Make them work, see what happens. Maybe you catch a break. Maybe you catch a mistake. I think that's the biggest thing. Can you just slow them down to a point where maybe your defense can come up with a big play? Good stuff. Thanks, Cole. You bet. Cole Reif with us here on Sports Day, brought to you in part by Equity Bank, adding value for their customers and communities. Equity Bank, Great Bend, Hoiston, and Larned, and Eller Automotive Repair. They specialize in wheel alignments, oil changes, and general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. Voice of the Tigers, Gerard Wabrock, coming up next on Sports Day.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec.
Sports, leisure, fitness and wellness, even senior and adaptive needs. It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Pick up a program guide or stop by the rec office at 1214 Stone in Great Bend. Or check out the website, greatbendrec.com. Live, play, explore at the rec.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Live, play, explore at the rec.
If you're needing a healthcare plan for your business, let the experienced and dedicated staff at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your business's need. Regardless if you're a large corporation or a small business on Main Street, Freedom Claims Management Incorporated can help you provide your employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. Visit freedomclaimsinc.com where you can schedule a free, no obligation health assessment today. Freedom Claims Management Incorporated in Great Bend.
Discover affordable education with Barton Online. Whether you're looking to pick up a class or earn your associate degree, we've got you covered for less than half the cost of a university. We are always enrolling with 5 sessions available this fall, including 16, 8, and 4-week sessions. Get started when it fits your schedule. Tackle your gen eds or the first 2 years of college with the low-cost pathway and save time and money with Barton Online. Visit online.bartonccc.edu and enroll today.
Some people call him Gerard. Most people just call him Grr. It's time for Tiger Talk on Sports Day with the voice of the Fort Hays State Tigers. Here's Gerard Wellbrock.
Gerard Wellbrock joining us here on Sports Day today. Voice of the Fort Hays State Tigers. Okay, Gerard, Fort Hays with a tough challenge going to Edmond, Oklahoma last week to take on Central Oklahoma. I thought maybe, because they couldn't score enough points, but I did not see the Tigers giving up 49. 49-24, Tigers fall in Edmond on Saturday.
Yeah. That one's still hard to unpack. They were the number one scoring. They still are the number one scoring offense in the nation. They're impressive. They've got 3 or 4 really good wide receivers. A quarterback, University of Houston transfer, gets rid of it quickly. It's hard to get pressure on him. He's accurate. But Fort Hays State they had some miscommunication and just, guys, I don't know if it's because they scored so many points and they're just so dynamic. And they're like a video game, but they got caught looking in the backfield a few times and just they let the receiver get behind him. And he's too good. The receivers are too good. Terrell Davis, he reincarnated from his Bronco days. Now he's a wide receiver at UCO. I mean, if not for Zach Zabrowski, who Fort Hays will face Saturday, the Central Missouri quarterback, in his crazy game, he should have been Offensive Player of the Week in the first half. He had over 200 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns in the first half. It was crazy. But then you look, Fort Hays State had their best offensive game of the year. They moved the ball. They were 1 for 4 in the red zone in the first half. They'd come into the game 10 for 10 in the red zone, or 16 for 16 going into that game in the red zone. And then they go 1 for 4. They threw an interception in the end zone. They had a field goal block. They went for it a couple of times, or if it's a closer game, they probably take the points and kick. But they moved the ball, and we get to halftime, you start looking at the numbers, and this probably should have been a one-possession game, but Fort Hays State just did not execute well enough, and Central Oklahoma's too good. It'll be interesting to see if someone slows them down, because I was impressed. That's the best Central Oklahoma team we've seen in a long, long time.
And they already beat Central Missouri, is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. And they ran away in the fourth quarter of that game, won by like 17 or 18.
So now you get Central Missouri this week. Yeah. So Lewisfield Stadium, Saturday night.
Number one offense in the nation to the number 2 scoring offense in the conference, and one of the top 10 in the nation. So yeah,
it's Oktoberfest. Maybe they'll come in early.
Playing back to back.
Are they the same offensively?
No, not really. I mean, they're both dynamic. Central Missouri plays a ton of receivers. They're big. They got a lot of D1 transfers. They've got some good D1 connections. with their coaches. So I think they've got 11 players have 10 or more receptions, 14 or more have caught a pass. They really utilize their running backs in the passing game. Central Oklahoma passes, and then they get leads, and then they run. I don't know if Central Missouri does that quite as much. Their number one back was injured against Kearney, so we'll see if he plays or not. But they've just got good receivers. A quarterback really does a good job of keeping plays alive, and he's a better runner. So it's different. They don't go about it the same way, even though they pass a lot. Zabrowski leads the nation in passing. He's the reigning Harlan Hill winner in Division II, the Division II Heisman. So he's good. They're good. They haven't scored as much. They say that they're in the 30s, but the first 2 weeks they were flying high. The last 2 weeks they haven't scored as many points. Kearney had them beat, and then got beat on a late touchdown, lost by 1 in Warrensburg. So I think they're beatable. Fort Hays State's going to have to play well, and they're going to have to play better on the defensive end. They can't get burned like they did. I think the problems are correctable, but they're going to have to do it, and they're going to have to do it for this week, because if you give those guys a step like they did against Central Oklahoma, you're going to find the same results.
And it's Oktoberfest.
And it is Oktoberfest, which I don't know how big of a factor that is. I think the guys do a pretty good job. They don't take them out of town like some other coaches have. And I mean, they just, maybe you want to go down there and eat, be smart, but you're here to play football. And I think by and large, they do a pretty good job of that. So, but it is a distraction. It's one more thing. A lot of family members come back. So it is one more distraction you do have to deal with. That's for sure.
I was just saying it's Oktoberfest.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I don't care about the players. It's Oktoberfest.
First time, okay, I'm in Hayes, I've been there for like 2 weeks, right? So Great Bend Hayes High plays at Liberal that night. Well, so I said, I'll go down there and see what this is about. And it's like, it's the strangest thing I ever saw. I mean, the mayor of the town's tapping a keg. It's 9 o'clock in the morning, and Frontier Park is packed. It was hard for me to put my 29-year-old mind around at the time.
They tap it a little later now. They move it back. I think it's more like 10 or 11.
Oh, okay,
and it goes a little bit later into the, they kind of promote, coming out for supper and lunch. So it's still the same, but I don't think they started quite as early as they used to then. But it's a fun time.
It was the first time I found out that the Vulcan German showed up in Kansas without any salt. Okay, because I had one of the famous Munger sausage and I ate it, and what's it supposed to taste like? But anyway, so now everybody's up in Victoria's angry at me again. All right,
that's okay.
Bob Schmidt Day was yesterday, and I know a lot of people here at the radio station. Yeah, it's Bob Schmidt Day. They didn't know the man. Now, people in Great Bend are aware of Bob Schmidt because we have the Schmidt Foundation that's given thousands of dollars to different organizations and charities here in the Great Bend area. But I guess being an old feller like you are now, Gur, you had the chance to know Bob Schmidt. He was an unbelievable giving man, for sure.
He was. And we had our Bob Schmidt Day. For those who don't, Eagle celebrates or ESOP, and long story short, but it's a fun celebration to honor Pat and Bob, Pat his wife. And so we were talking about him, and that same thing here. There's not many in the building anymore that really knew him. A few did, but not a lot. And so they asked me, and I said, well, most of you probably don't realize, he was the original voice of the Tigers.
Yes.
He called Fort Hays State on the radio first, and he always told me he wasn't very good at it. In fact, one of his first games, he's describing a touchdown as whoever runs it to the 70, and then realizes, oh, crap. So he goes, so that was my first experience. I wasn't very good, but I think he was probably very good. But, yeah, great man, and obviously a great heart. And I know we had some opportunities as voices of the Tigers to get together with him.
Yeah.
And very funny. He had a funny sense of humor. A lot of things people don't know and probably don't need to know, but yeah, he was ornery. He could hold his own with anybody when it came to pranking people.
Yeah. Bob Schmidt Day yesterday. Gerard Walbrock, voice of the Fort Hays State Tigers. Gur, have a great call coming up on Saturday night. You get to stay at home this weekend, and happy Oktoberfest to you, my friend.
Thank you very much.
All right, Gerard Welbrock, voice the Fort Hays State Tigers on Sports Day.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text KETTLE to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text KETTLE to 321-321. That's KETTLE to 321-321.
Covering your local teams and your local athletes. It's Sports Day on KVGB, presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Sports Day also brought to you in part by the Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street in Great Bend and by the Animal Medical Center. Big or small, they take care of them all. Steve Webster, Mike Hesher with you. Reminder, Royals baseball coming up this afternoon, 3 o'clock. First pitch around 3:38. I guess it would be around. It's 3:38, first pitch. And then later tonight, we will bring you Game 2 between San Diego and Atlanta. San Diego up 1-0. We might have 4 games tomorrow in Major League Baseball, or we may not have any games tomorrow. We'll just have to wait and see, as they say. Royals, Orioles, here we go.
Camden Yards. You ever been to Camden Yards?
No, I have not.
I was there a couple decades ago.
I have not been to Baltimore before.
Interesting town. Inner Harbor's cool.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know what it is now.
The bridge fixed yet? Or I think they.
Interesting story. The hotel we stayed at, if you went one way, it was a nice part of town. If you went the other way, it was the part of town you wanted to stay away from.
I think that's pretty much any town, right?
I mean,
you turn one way, the bad part's either there good or the bad part's the other way.
That's what it was. It was
Interesting
fun.
fact about Baltimore, Maryland. From Mike Hesher. The one and only Mike Hesher.
Crab cakes.
See you tomorrow on Sports Day.